Welcome to Verbal Mirrors Reflecting Understanding podcast, where the power of words becomes a bridge between worlds. In this podcast, we embark on a dynamic exploration of the human experience, weaving a tapestry of diverse voices, stories, and perspectives. I am your host, Lavinia Richards. Join us on a journey that transcends boundaries, fostering connection, empathy, and a deeper understanding of the rich mosaic that defines us all. Get ready to reflect, resonate, and embark on a transformative odyssey through the art of conversation. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Verbal Mirrors Reflecting Understanding. I am your host, Lavinia Richards. And listen, tonight we impromptu. We in the raw and uncut studio, chopping it up with my cousin, Katina Washington, and my cousin, Tanisha Green. Say hello to the people.
Hello.
Hey everyone.
Listen, this is impromptu because, we keeping it real. We keeping it raw. I was driving home. I've had a full day. And I was talking to my cousin, Tanisha, on the phone. And we were just talking, having a real deep conversation. And she was like, you know what? We need to hop on and we need to record. And to be honest, we were just talking about initially like narcissism, right? Being in narcissistic relationships and coming out of those relationships. And then once you're out of them, recognizing the triggers, recognizing the things that they do to impose on you, right? Different things like that. And so we were just chopping it up. And so I want to dive into it. As women, what is your experience? And I don't care who goes first, but what is your experience with dealing with, narcissistic behavior in relationships?
No, go ahead. Y'all had already been talking about it, so I'm very interested in hearing some of the conversation that you had earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like for me, it was definitely a growth thing because I don't even think I realized it was narcissist behavior because I was just something I was just used to, you know? And it was like until I got to the point that I am now, I'm like, man, I can't believe like I was real jacked up because I was accepting a whole lot of nonsense, you know what I mean? And over, I say the last 3 or 4 years, me and Lavinia, we become very, very close. And sometimes she even had to check me like, you deserve better than XYZ. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a shame that I was in a spot that I couldn't see that before now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, I was in a real bad, sad place. But I'm not there anymore. So I'm grateful for that.
And that's deep because when we were talking, when you look at how we take the blame for narcissistic behavior, you're not recognizing that person might be withholding energy from you to try to get you or persuade you to move a certain way, or withholding love from you because they want to keep you right up under their thumb, or deflecting or gaslighting you, when they know that they're the ones that are at fault. And so when you're in the situation, you don't realize that that's it, right? You're really trying to please them, until you come out of it, right? And you don't even know that this is happening. Katina, what are your thoughts?
Oh wow. I'm I'm still studying narcissism. Actually, I was recently called a narcissist.
Really?
I was. I was recently called a narcissist. I would have never described myself as a narcissist, but I don't think there are too many people who will admit they're a narcissist. You know what I'm
True.
saying?
Mm.
But I still don't think I'm a narcissist, but it was really surprising that someone called me a narcissist that I felt was a narcissist.
Mm.
And then I think that goes back to the deflecting, though, right? Because it's easier for me to call you something because that's really what narcissistic behavior is. And let's be clear, women and men can be narcissists. I've been called a narcissist as well, right? I had been called that. I didn't see it either, but people see what they see. I think what's different though is living with it, right? Would you agree? Like it's a whole different ball game of someone calling you that, but actually living with someone that you've experienced it from. Would you agree, Tanisha? Your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. That's something that I haven't been called though, as a narcissist.
Okay.
Though, I mean, I haven't, yeah, I mean, other things, but not a narcissist. And I think, for me, now that I know what it is, I think it started from my dad. So it was like something I was immune to, something that I probably gravitated towards because that's what I was used to.
I would agree. We don't know what it's called, right? We don't understand that. I mean, because honestly, let's be clear, I didn't even really hear the word narcissist until the last couple of years,
Hmm.
right? Until like, I started seeing God Rest His Soul, but Kevin Samuels and people like that who were speaking, I guess, on men's behalf, and not just men, to my understanding, I guess, for some women, they followed him too, but just the narcissistic behavior of feeling like you don't matter, feeling like that person taking everything, like your energy, and using that against you, your hurts, using that against you, deflecting, not, and we don't understand it too because we're hurt, so we don't call it narcissistic behavior because we're both trauma bonding, right? And so we don't even recognize that that's what it is. So that's why I mentioned coming outside of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you have a whole different view. You don't even know that's what it is when you first in it, and then you realize, oh, he did this to me, or oh, he did that to me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is what narcissistic behavior looks like, turning things around, flipping it around. Like, have you experienced that? What does that look like for you? Like, can you give an instance?
Um, I would say, like, for me, like, in a nutshell, like I was telling you earlier, like, my ex would be like, well, I don't cheat on you and I don't hit you, or whatever. But like I said, you don't see me, you don't hear me, you don't communicate with me. These are the things that I need. You know what I mean? The things that you totally look over. You compliment the next person, on going to school, but then here I am. This is my fourth semester and on the dean's list. I get no recognition. You know what I mean? Mm-mm. So that's an instance for me. That's
So,
what it was for me.
so to you, it's kind of like, so for an example, say you don't like turkey sandwiches. And
Right.
so you're saying it's like him bringing you a turkey sandwich and you're like, I don't like turkey sandwiches. And then him telling you, well, you should be thankful that I brought you something to eat. It's not about
Right.
what it
Take
was, it's that I brought you something.
right. Right. Lavinia said earlier, it's like giving me a steak on a trash can lid. I'm supposed to accept it because it's a steak, but you serving it to me any type of way.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Right. And so what standard are we setting? Because then, I mean, if we accept, and that, I feel like that goes for men too, because anybody can accept mediocrity. So I think it comes to the point, what standard are you setting? Because if that's the standard that we set, girl, well, at least, now he stay out all night though and everything, but he give me his check. Right? That's the standard that we're setting. Like, that's okay. And that is not okay. And so, yeah, that's not really necessarily dealing with narcissism. But I will say that when you deal with those attitudes and behaviors, it affects you mentally, right? That affects you because, like you said, you telling me that because you're not beating on me and because you're not cheating on me, that I should be okay with you just giving me just enough. I'm
Mhm.
here. And so that's enough. And I think
Right.
that plays into narcissism because here I am and my presence is enough. That's it and that's all. You should be happy that I'm not beating you up. I mean,
Right.
look at what all the other women are going through. Right? Am I wrong? Like, let's talk about it.
Oh. And like I always say, you can't water a cactus like you water a rose. You know what I
Ooh,
mean? Just because Bonquisha and whoever else is into, what I mean, low vibration, you know, things, just craziness. Bonquisha's out
yeah.
there. they accepting anything. They think women as a whole accept this. You know what I mean? Because so many women are accepting that.
True. So when it comes to narcissism, I guess let's say this. What is your perception of a narcissist?
Self-centered, asshole, no accountability.
Ooh, say that. What about you?
Delusional.
Right. Because some of the stuff they be saying be crazy, right?
Yeah.
Seriously. What about you? What about you, cousin? What are your thoughts? I mean, what is your perception?
I think a narcissist is someone who does not practice reciprocity. So
Boom.
it doesn't mean that they have to, you know, I just think it's a person that doesn't practice reciprocity. You know what I mean? That's it.
I think I would agree to that because in my situation of being in a narcissistic relationship, it was more of, and I'm not saying that that person didn't give, right? So let me be clear. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that my giving was definitely from a different space and place. The giving was almost a control, if you will. You know what I mean? It was not giving to you because it's from the heart. I'm giving to you because, today was a good day and I felt like you were good today. You know? And so you look at that and it's like, I'm giving from the heart, reciprocity. If I say, here's something to eat and I bring you your plate, maybe you won't bring me my plate, but maybe you'll bring me my glass of water, right? And my dessert. Or maybe it won't be that, but if I'm going to be the listening ear and your support system, be my support system. Don't come from a place of need, but how about come from a place of want and desire?
Yeah, because like reciprocity, it's about the mutual benefit. So even though you may feel like you're doing something that should be beneficial to that person, it has to be communicated that this is a mutual benefit type of thing. So it's like if you listen to me, I'll listen to you. I'll make sure I'm a good listener to you too. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be some kind of point where you agree that what you're giving me in exchange for what I'm giving you is a mutual benefit. It's benefiting us both. It's feeding both of our souls. You know what I'm saying? And if it is not, because that other person don't get to decide that. That other person don't get to decide, I brought you this to eat and you should be happy. It should be a situation where what they brought you to eat, you like it. That's the mutual benefit. And then in exchange, you may call and fuss and mire because they got their order wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because they
Exactly.
don't like dealing with the customer service stuff. But it definitely needs to be, the mutual benefit needs to be agreed upon. One person don't get to decide that. That's when it becomes a narcissistic situation.
I would have to totally agree with that. Tanisha, what are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah,
Yep.
because now I'm just dropping my seed on dead ground, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm wasting energy that I don't need to waste when I can direct it towards something more positive. It shouldn't be that every time I leave your presence that I feel drained, that I feel like you've sucked the life out of me because you tried to
Yeah.
use me and utilize me for everything that you could with nothing in return except for you should be happy I asked you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should be happy that I thought of you to do everything for me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how you feel when you're dealing with a narcissist. I mean, you laughing, but am I right though? Like, right?
Nah. Yeah.
Like, all praise to you, that you allowed me to give you all of my energy and love and support, and you did nothing with it but
Yeah.
abuse it.
And you have to be careful with allowing that into your life too, because when it manifests and then you have an awakening, it could be a very, very painful process because you'll start thinking in your mind, of times where you were happy to be in somebody's presence. And when you have this awakening and realize they're a narcissist and all of that, you'll have an attitude like, you ought to have been fucking glad that I even allowed you to be around me. You know what I'm
That
saying? So, like they say, the deeper the love, the deeper the hurt. Like when you get on that other side, like that could be a very, like that could be like you could wreck before you heal from something like that.
seriously. And that's deep because unhealed versions of yourself accept a lot of shit that you normally wouldn't even remotely think about accepting. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize that, and now healing, and I say that because, we all talk about this, all the time. You're always healing. There's always another layer of that onion to peel off. There's always something else that you got to touch, tap, heal, hit the reset button on. Let's be real, right? But when you really learn, let's talk about it, your value.
Mm-hmm.
Because value is everything, because you don't get to decide how you treat me. Right. And so that goes back to the narcissism. Did they really treat me bad? Yeah. But did I allow it is the question. And
Right.
so it goes back to, if you don't heal, if myself, and I'm
Yep.
going to keep setting that standard for you to keep treating me any kind of way you want to. Right. Okay. You might have been able to do Erica and Lisa and all those other chicks like that. But now guess what? Now you met Lavinia. Right. Of her, but the healed version of her, not the one that was looking for the hurt, not the one that was looking for the daddy, not the one that was looking for somebody to love her, right? Not that broken person that was trauma bonding and letting people use the narcissistic behavior by, if they were going to pull their energy or their love from me, I was ready to run like a puppy because my mom and my daddy wasn't there like I wanted them to be or needed them to be. Right. And that's where we are able to, let's talk about it. That's where that narcissism is able to take precedence in our lives, because we're looking for something from somebody else that we should be giving to ourselves, but we don't love ourselves enough in that season to know it.
Yeah, I don't deal with that a lot here lately
Once
because
you heal,
well, yeah, absolutely. And the whole capacity thing. I'm not going to continue to expect something out of somebody that they can't deliver. That's just, then I'm questioning myself like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because remember, we talked about that all night, the capacity thing. Like expecting something from someone who can't deliver it is, I mean, that's what they refer to as, what is it called? Reprobate mind?
yeah, reprobated mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like
Yes,
I mean, it's not going to happen. I mean,
it's not.
unless maybe they choose to do something different, but you sitting there expecting for something to happen and expecting something from someone who does not at all have the capacity to produce that for you is, that leads to you having a mental condition,
It
Yeah.
or
does.
not even leading to it, maybe identifying it.
Mhm.
And you can get stuck there, right? You can get stuck there unhealed because you start believing your surroundings and your environment and what's being spoken to you and what's being told to you. And that's what you're allowing to be planted into you. And now you believe that you ain't shit. Now you believe that you can't make it because you got this man and or woman, because let me be clear, they both can be narcissists, but you're not understanding that they have that fear on the inside of themselves that they're deflecting on yourself. And so, like you said, let's get back to capacity. Like you said, all night, that was so profound to me when you said it. And I did a video and I'm like, we don't think about that. And it's no shade for anybody. If you come from a broken home and you've never seen love, how can you possibly give me the love that I'm asking you for? How could you? A dog can't become a cat, right? You're not looking for a panda to chirp like a bird. They don't have the capacity. And that, I thought that was so deep, because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a panda to chirp. And then we get angry because they don't have the capacity to do it. Not because, they couldn't, but they've not seen it. They've not experienced it. And words don't teach. You can tell me you love me all day. One of my first ex-husbands, he told me he loved me to life, honey, while he was beating me and pulling sawed-off shotguns on me. So what was that? His love? Is that what he grew up in? His mom and daddy fighting and, So
Right.
that's the thing. He didn't have the capacity to love me like that because his love language was what he saw, because words don't teach.
Yep.
Tanisha, what? Yeah, I mean, seriously, what are your thoughts, Tanisha? Like, what do you think?
I got so much to say. I
Say
mean,
it. That's what this
it's
shit is for. Like,
just
say
so much
it.
to say. I don't know. Like I don't know. First of all, I'm just grateful for this space to have this conversation because I think this is a conversation that needs to be had. I feel like it needs to be heard. And and we need to support each other. I mean, and whether, like you said, a man or a woman can be. So if it's some, brothers out there that need this conversation too, let's talk about it. But it's about, I mean, my story alone, just being here to be healed enough to know that this kind of behavior is not acceptable. That's my biggest takeaway from this whole thing is that I accept it so much. And it's like, breaking that generational curse because my mother went through the same thing, just accepted, and then the generation before that, like my grandmother's generation, they was in the generation like, oh, just as long as you got any man, a piece of a man is better than no man at all. What? What?
Before.
Who's doing that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, no. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like breaking these generational curses, you know, and it all start with self love. And that, you know what I mean? It all starts with self love.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, I love that. And I love what you said as far as realizing that you are healed enough, right, to recognize that it wasn't healthy behavior.
Yeah.
You know how many of us stay because that's the norm? Because, like you
That's
just
it.
said, from our ancestors, you got you a good man. That man brings his check home every day.
Right.
So what if he want to go out and have a little drink or two? And this is
Right.
real. Like, we can laugh at it, but this is
Yeah.
what we heard growing up. Think about what that does to a child, a
Right.
woman, seeing her parent saying, no, 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 it's okay, baby, it's okay. No, I know he does that, but he loves us. Look at our home. Look at our home. We wouldn't have these nice things if it wasn't for your dad. So that's okay. It's not okay. Right? But we so busy going along to get along that it's become the norm, and we're not healed enough to know that it's a problem. And I love what you said about that. So first, recognizing that it is not okay for you to hit me. It is not okay for you to use my codependency of my hurt, me not knowing that that's what I was doing, releasing to you my deepest, darkest hurts, because I thought that we were on the same page, trauma bonding. And I'm revealing, indulging you these things, and then you take them and you use them against me with your narcissistic behavior to get me to do what you want me to do, to get me to tap dance, to get me to, do whatever it is, because you know that I love love. And so because you know that, let me play on that. Let me play on our heartstrings. Y'all, let's talk about it. Real, So I like what you said about that, because that is really, a big thing for us to heal those generational curses and or break them.
Yeah.
Break them.
Absolutely.
Because now we become narcissists too, because now we're taking those generational curses and we're wanting people to perform and conform to what we're used to because of the agreements we make.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can see it. I can see how somebody might call us You know, maybe you don't want to see it, but in this conversation, when we really diving into it, I can see how somebody can say that, because now you want me to love you how you want me to love you. And I'm not saying you shouldn't. All I'm suggesting is we're asking from the wrong person because they don't have the capacity. And we're trying to make them be that person instead of falling back and healing and recognizing once we heal that broken energy and broken trauma and the generational curses and the go along to get along mentality, now we're in a space to say, you know what? I don't deserve that. He don't get to treat me like that. That girl is not my friend. You know what? I'm breaking up with everybody. And you feel good about it. You feel good about it. You don't even question it because now you value you. Right? What are y'all thoughts?
That's dope. Yeah. That's dope. Now I'm breaking up with everybody. Oh, break up with all their asses.
Because why do you have to? I've learned that, and no arrogance, no cockiness, but arrogance and cockiness on some real stuff. Because why do I not get to value me? And why do I not get to decide how I let people treat me and who I let in my energy?
Period. Yeah. That part.
Why do I gotta be around somebody I know can't stand me?
Yeah. Just to make other people happy.
Right.
Yeah.
So that they feel satisfied. Like, that's not cool. You know, and when you start loving yourself, that's when you break those narcissistic relationships, whether it's male or female, because women try to get you to do things that they want you to do too and call themselves your friends. I don't want to make it seem like we just talking about men. That's been most of my experience with narcissistic behavior was with relationships. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about intimate relationships, but women do it too. You know, I've had women try to be my friend and try to get me to do certain things or hit you with well, you know, I've come to this, but if you were my friend, you would understand that I did it in love, and I may not be able to attend everything that you have, but if I've supported you once or twice, I've supported you a million times, and you know that I care. But now don't take the love that I have because you know I love, yet again, and I value my relationships, and now in turn try to use that against me, right?
Absolutely.
That's narcissistic. And you a female. Oh, I came to your this, or, you know, no, I mean, that's not cool.
Real friends, why you keeping tabs anyway? Just you coming or you ain't. I mean,
say that. Say that. You know, real talk. Because if you my friend, honestly, we wouldn't even be having that conversation.
That part.
You know, and so I think that's the thing too. Like, I'm so over the fakeness with all of it. Like, I always say this, and I leave with this, you know, because I'm not perfect. And so I don't ever want to put the premise out or give the perception that I think I am. I have done a lot of things that I am not proud of in my life, as we all have. There's not one person that exists that hasn't. So I don't have any shame on my dad. Oh, Lavinia did this and did.
Right.
Or didn't, either way, because I'm gonna fess up to what I did. But my thing is that my mistake was expecting everyone to be like me.
Yes.
Oh, right?
Yes.
I'm giving real love. He gotta be giving it too. I'm giving her my real true friendship. They gotta be, because this is me. And only to see that they was faking it. They was faking it the whole time. And a narcissist can do that, y'all. Understand that a narcissist for years can pretend. Years, because it's a lifestyle. It's a developed lifestyle, a way of living. This is, sometimes they don't want to be called that because they don't see it. And to see it would mean that they got to own their own hurt, their own pain. They can't deflect. They have to take accountability, right? They can't avoid conversation. They can't put you on read or red, however they say it. They can't ghost you, because all of those things have to be addressed. But all of those behaviors are control behaviors. They want to control. That's a form of control. If I do this to her or him, then that'll get them to do that. And I think that comes with the fake friendships too. I'm not really your friend
Yes.
because I really care about you. I'm your
Right.
friend because I see you winning, so I know you love hard. So I'm going to pretend like you my girl. I'm going to be with you for years. I'm going to rock with you. I'm going to support you. At least I'm going to make it seem like it. But I'm going to talk about you like a dog behind your back. I'm going to tell everybody your business. You don't think it's going to get back to me, but I find out, right? And now here we are.
Wow.
But you call me your family or your sister or your cousin or your sissy or whatever you call me, all that shit, all the titles with all the daggers. Still narcissistic behavior. And then let's talk about when they do you wrong. But don't take accountability. It's your fault. I mean, seriously. So, your thoughts. So, Nisha, let me ask you this. What did it take for you to recognize that you were in a narcissistic relationship? What did it take? Like with your healing, you said once you got healed, what did that look like?
That looked like back in 2020, in February 2020, I had weight loss surgery. And to date, I lost 145 pounds.
Woohoo! That's what I'm talking about. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
And then after that, I went and got my high school diploma at the age of 42.
That, girl, yes.
And I got my entrepreneurship certification from Ivy Tech. And then I just
Absolutely.
finished
Yes.
my diploma for a master herbalist. So it was just like I don't that I lost weight, physical weight, and I lost a man, another extra
Listen.
145 pounds.
Hey,
And it seemed
listen.
like I've been soaring ever since.
Clapping. Clapping, girl. Damn it. Clap. Yes.
Yeah. But no, but really, ever since, you've been on this journey with me, you know what I mean? So it seemed like ever since I gave him his ring back, Katina, we were supposed to get married and everything,
No.
all that. But when I told Lavinia, I said, when I got to question why you gave me this ring, you know what I mean? Like, this is supposed to be your forever partner. So I feel like it should be like, oh, like, we gonna have each other till we go get old together, and we gonna have a cool life and build and grow and help each other. It was none of that. It was like, dang, is it, you know you're just reaping the benefits because I'm just a good mother, you know what I mean? It's gonna be lights, it's gonna be food, it's gonna be whatever because of these kids that I have, you know what I mean? So if I got a question, did you give me this ring because you see stability within me, or that you love me? And it would never go to, oh dang, he really loved me, that's why. It was
Oh,
never that
wow.
feeling. You know what I mean? So I was like, this is not my husband. It can't
Wow.
be, because why am I questioning it in this way? You know what I mean? I said, nah, you can have that. And again, like, I'm not about to be like, oh, just to you know how chicks get married and my husband, F that. Like, no.
No, but
I
for
don't
real.
care. And then, like, I also tell Lavinia too, like, dudes always, I hear it a lot, like, women, they got so much masculine energy. But why? Why do we got masculine energy?
Girl.
Because we have to be the man too in a lot of these situations. You know what I mean?
Real
So
talk.
that's what I want, a relationship where I can bask in my feminine energy, because I feel like
Mm.
I've never had that. You know what I mean? Just, it's always, me doing, taking care of. If I drop the ball, that's it. Ain't nobody else. It's me. It's always been me. So
That was always a dream of mine, to rest in my feminine energy.
really,
I feel that. Like me too. It feels good. And wow. I'm going to go back to something you said, though. You said you gave the ring back. And I got to address that. I got to address it because I feel like that's powerful, because there's some sister out there right now knowing that he the wrong one. And that takes a lot of strength. You know how many people do it for publicity or for show?
Or
Just
say
so they
my
can say they got
husband.
my husband. And they're miserable. They marry them broke. They marry them as drug addicts. They marry them knowing that they beating on them. They marry them knowing that they're not a provider. They marry them knowing that they're a cheater. Like, this is real talk. So for you to choose you and say, I love myself more than the ring and the facade.
Yeah. And happiness. Fuck that. Nobody's worth my happiness. At the state that I'm in now, nobody. Or my peace. Period.
No, but seriously. And continue.
Mm-mm.
I mean, add to that, like, because I know you always got something to say. Like, what are your thoughts? Because, like you said, you've always wanted to rest in your femininity, but why? You know what I'm saying?
Why do I want to?
Why? Yeah, I mean, why? Like, you know, because of course something has put you in that situation to feel that way.
Yeah, and and where I'm at right now is like, if someone, if there was someone I felt was a narcissist or whatever, like, I'm not in the place anymore where, like, I'm mad about it, because, like, I get it. This is my own story. Like, I get it that they, didn't have the capacity to give me what I wanted, and I didn't have the capacity, apparently, to give them what they wanted. So it's one of them things, like we talked about the other night. I hope my absence gives you what my presence did not. So, like, when I was on that radio station yesterday, and, he was interviewing me, and we were kind of talking about, like, my book and just stuff like that. And he was just like, yeah, he's like, I feel like, your success, this and that and the other. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
Loud noise. But there was a guy that called in and said, my only defense to what all that stuff she's saying is, I just put in my mindset that I'm going to live poor. And he was like, and anything, above that is extra. He said, I just set my mind that way so that I don't get disappointed a lot, and, have those times where I'm feeling anxiety and this and that and other because things didn't go the way that I wanted them to go or whatever. And so my initial thought was, wow, what a low vibrational way to think. You know what I'm saying? But then Pastor Jackson chimed in and said, I get what he's saying. He lives as a minimalist, and stuff like that, right? So, I then went on to tell him, I respect your opinion, and everything. That just doesn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? So when you think of it that way, why should I be upset with what he's okay with?
Right.
Because that's
Right.
his life. You know what I'm saying? Just like, why should he be upset or say, his only defense to that is, or he could have just came on there and said, for me, I just live every day, in the poor, whatever words he used, and anything, above that is extra for me, Instead, he was like, the way that I think is going to lead to a lot of anxiety, this and that, which I do have anxiety and all that stuff, it comes with the territory, but I also have a lot of happy times too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So if this works for me in my life, and that works for him in his life, because everybody is not, y'all, this world would be so boring if everybody thought the same thing, if everybody had the same vision, if everybody had the same goals, if everybody agreed on the same kind of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think there are moments. There's moments where we're happy in a relationship, moments where we may not be so happy, moments where we're like, okay, this is the end of this, whatever. But I just think each individual should decide, what do I have the capacity to handle? If I don't have the capacity to handle what you delivering and serving to me right now, then maybe this relationship needs to be over.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And being okay with it.
Yeah.
Being okay with it. Because like you said, where you are now, like, I don't have to deal with that. And it's nothing, I mean, because people have, like you said, if he decided to live as a minimalist, God bless you. That's what you
Yeah.
decide to do. And you have every right to do that. Right? I think that's another problem. We always want people to be what we want them to be. No. Let them be who they are, but wait for it. Accept them for who they are.
Yeah. There are people who look at my life who would look at my life like, and I may be feeling like, oh my God, I never would have imagined that I would have done the things that I've done in my, and be where I am right now. There are people who will look at me right now and say, that's beneath where they want to be, where I am. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They'll say it's way beneath where they want to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I have sit amongst people who have done things in a very, very condescending way to make me feel like maybe a decision I made or something I did was way beneath them. You know what I'm saying? So you always gonna have the opinions of others amongst us.
It's real. But when you love
What we
yourself,
might think is a standard, other people, you know what I'm saying? It's no. They're like, no, that's not good enough.
yeah. And, or how about also, let's talk about this. Let's say you and I both went through a divorce, right? And I know for a fact Tanisha and myself both have gone through a divorce. I've gone through two. Let's
Me
say
too.
that because okay, right, okay. So let's say that because we've gone through these divorces, how am I to look at you and say, because I went through my divorce, let's say I went through it as a champion, right? Like I championed that thing. Why is it okay for me to then, in turn, because I, in my own circumstance, in my own situation, handled it like a champ? Why do I get to turn around and tell you what you should be able to do and that you should do it like me? Right? I think you're on mute, cousin, if you're talking.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But go ahead. What were you saying? You're on mute again.
No.
Okay.
Go.
I
I
got
was.
you.
Go
Okay.
ahead. I was saying, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So, I mean, go ahead, Tanisha. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Mhm.
I think people have too much of an opinion on the other people's lives. I think it needs to be just flat out respect. I mean, you know what I mean? I might not like how you do it, who you do it with, but it's first of all, it's not really any of my business.
Right.
And I mean, just as simple as what works for you may not work for me. Period. You know what I
Right.
mean? So just
Right.
respect whatever it is. And I think
Right.
people have too much of an opinion. And going back to narcissists, when you tell them about that, they don't understand or want to feel the boundaries that you give them to say, hey, this part of my life, I mean, and even if I'm talking to you about it, doesn't necessarily mean you have to have an opinion. I'm not asking for an opinion. I just need to vent.
And I love that. And I'm so glad you said it, because that was my next thing that I was going to talk about. And that was going to be boundaries. Oh, you just tapped into my soul with that, right? Oh, because it plays a huge role in dealing with narcissistic relationships, period.
Hmm.
It plays a huge role, because when you set those boundaries, baby, oh my God, like you would think the end of the world is happening, because that's when you really see. That's when when you step outside, because you're healing now, right? Or you healed from some certain things. That's how you can see it was narcissistic behavior. And so now when you put up these boundaries, you're selfish. That's how you're a narcissist. You're taking up for yourself. Who you think you're talking to, right? It's all of the things. And so now they're figuring out another way to take hold and control. So that's when I'm going to pull my energy, because let me see if this works now, right? Because now you're setting boundaries. No, nigga, that don't work either no more. Okay? That don't work either. Because the thing is, I finally love myself enough to have value. Not arrogance, not no cockiness. Everybody should think they should value themselves, whether you're male or female. So this ain't none of that. And if you don't be mad at me. Let's go back to mind your business, because I value myself, and I used to not. That's how I was able to accept the narcissistic relationships, whether they be intimate or platonic, right? All because of not loving myself. And so when I put those boundaries up, you don't get to treat me like that. Now you can't borrow no money. No, I'm not coming over. No, I don't feel like cooking for you. Because when I was doing it for you, you didn't appreciate it. And when I was giving my all and I was breaking my back to make sure that everything was on the up and up, to make sure I had your back, my back, the kids' back, and everybody's backs, it wasn't enough because I didn't have my own back. And then when I failed, nobody had mine.
Right.
Right. And so when we deal with those things, and like you said, being feminine, let's get back to that. We talk about resting in our femininity, and some men wonder, you know, why you always want to be so hard. I was told that I wanted to wear the pants and the skirt. Well, my thing is, somebody's got to.
Right. Right.
Because my thing is, don't put me in a situation that I gotta put the pants on. If you want me prissy and prim and cute at all times, leave me in that position where I don't got to make sure that, you know, the bills are paid. I don't got to make sure that all the calls are made. I don't have to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, all the household duties are taken care of. I don't got to make sure that you're taken care of sexually. I don't got to make sure that you, come on, let's talk about it, because this is the things that we accept and we forget about ourselves, not realizing we thinking it's love. We don't recognize we're being used. That's real until you love yourself, because when you set the boundaries, back to that. When you set the boundaries and you start loving yourself, right? And I'm just piggybacking so that whoever hops in later, they understand. We talked about these things. We talked about narcissistic behavior. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about those signs, you know, the pulling of energy, us accepting it, looking at the behavior, you know, the gaslighting. And we talked about some of the characteristics. And I'm sure there are so many more, because there's so many definitions, and we have so much technology and things on social media and things that we can get access to. But the reality is, when you are in it, you know what it feels like. You know what it feels like to be blamed when you're doing your hardest to make things better, but it's not enough. And so you find yourself pounding away to make this person happy, all the while you're dying inside. You know? And so those boundaries matter. It's okay to put up boundaries. And sometimes those boundaries, you think that they gonna hurt you, but they help you, because it goes back to standard. What standard are you saying? What are your takes on that? Anybody?
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say what you were saying just brought up to me, like in my situation, it was like, to this day, he won't say it's me, or we won't have that conversation about why I gave him his ring back. Katina, it went from my weight loss was the reason. It's a new nigga. I said, it is a new nigga. I'm the new nigga. You know what I mean? I'm not the person I was before that was just like accepting everything. You know what I mean? But it was, everything. Another guy, my weight loss, my family's in my ear, but never, what did I do to make you feel this way? Never. To this day. Just so oblivious to why we're here. you know?
Yeah. No
Crazy.
accountability.
No accountability.
Because narcissists don't take accountability. It's got to be you. Because if it's me, that means I got to be accountable.
Right. Right.
No, I only hit you because of your tone.
Right.
You should have piped down because you know I'm a man.
Mhm.
right? Nah, 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 nah. I mean, I was busy. So that's why I ain't hit you up for a week. Yeah, but I saw you talk to Robert, and you know what I'm saying? I saw you was hanging with someone, and then but we take it because something inside of us is broken. We're looking for something. So then when you start wanting that healing, because I gotta say wanting it, because everybody doesn't want it either. And a lot of people don't know they need it.
That's it right there.
I didn't know I needed it. I was so busy going along to get along. I was so busy going with the flow, trying to make everybody else happy, breaking down inside, having headaches every single day. And one thing Nisha, I couldn't drive. I could not drive, and I didn't realize it was stress. I was trying to be everything to everybody for a bunch of niggas who didn't give a damn about shit I was doing for them. And my health was declining. And I'm giving them my all. I'm telling you, honey, shout out to Scandal, because everybody thought that I was the Olivia Pope of the family. Mama, it's handled.
The
They're waiting for
fixer.
me to say, it's handled. It's handled. I took care of it. It's handled. Can you? Yes, I can. Can you? Yes, I will. I was the yes woman to everybody. Then when I started working home, being an entrepreneur, everybody really, she ain't doing nothing. Because you hating because I'm at home. I got a daycare. I got 10, 12, 13 kids, but nobody cared about that. I got kids all day, but yet, of course, I still got to do my wifely duties, and I still got to, right, I still got to cook, and I still got my own kids, or whatever that situation is. So being everything to everybody, and guess what, y'all? A narcissist gonna take it all. Right? Every ounce of it. What you say? Woo!
Yeah, that's deep. That's deep.
But it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the conversations that need to be had, because, and I'm glad we just decided to get on here and chop it up, for a few minutes, because people need to hear these conversations too. You know what I'm saying? People are going through this exact same thing, wanting to get out, or wanting to talk to somebody about it, or wanting to just hear a conversation, a real damn conversation about what's really happening with women and men, and not judging, because we so quick to judge. Oh, girl. And I love giving this analogy of or example, shall I say, of, imagine a woman being, let's just say, 800 pounds, seriously, because people can get that big, and they're 6 to 800, let's say that, 6 to 800 pounds. And so maybe they finally got down to, like, maybe let's say 400 pounds, half the weight of the 800, or half the weight, 300 pounds of the 600. And they got this leopard dress that they've been waiting to put on. You know what I'm saying? Because they used to be 6 to 800 pounds, and they like, baby, when I get down to 300 to 400, baby, I'm putting that dress on. And imagine us all being out as women. We're supposed to be queens, and we're supposed to encourage and edify one another. But we see her, and, we look at her, and we laughing at her. You know what I'm saying? We tearing her down. We whispering. She see it. She feel it. Can you imagine what we just did to her self-esteem? Because we don't know that she was 600 to 800 pounds. We don't know what it took for her to get in that dress at 300 to 400 pounds. And so we judged her, and we looked at her, and we talked about her, right? And we don't know what it took for her to do all of that, to step out, because when she stepped out, she looked her best, right? But because we're so quick to judge, we tore her spirits down, and now she's back eating, and she's back up to 600 pounds. Words are powerful,
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I was thinking about Nisha, when she was saying that he was like, is it because of your family, or because of the weight loss and this and that and the other? I remember back in 2006, I had two friends that had weight loss surgery, and they both both. I think it was a requirement then, but I don't know if it is now to do mental health counseling.
Yep, you still have to do that.
Yes, you have to do that. And she talked to me about that. And so anyway, I remember a lot of mental things that she went through because your body is taking a transformation. Maybe some worries that you had before you may not have no more. She was telling me one time she dropped her keys on the floor of the car, and I went to reach and get them for her, and she was like, "No," she said, "Let me get them. It's been so long since I haven't had to get out of the truck to get the keys. You know what I'm saying? Where I can just
Mhm.
reach down, just appreciating small things like that. So those are things that we don't may not recognize, but those are things that they go through in their mind. So just a lot of things are taking transformation when you go through one of those kinds of surgeries. You know what I'm saying? And so when you looking good and you feeling good about yourself, and you getting your mental together at the same time, you know, they have to realize that's like a person walking in a car lot and they got their credit together. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
different
That's
than you
it.
going into the car lot and you like, oh, I just hope I hope they can give me finance some kind of way.
Right.
I hope they ain't gonna have me pay too much down. I just got my taxes and I'm willing to give almost all of it just to give me a car. It's a different approach when you got your shit together. It's a
That's it.
different kind of it's a different kind of lifestyle when you got choices. You
That's
know what
it.
I'm saying? When you choosing versus being chosen. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
It changes the game.
Yeah.
Real
You know,
talk.
so when it comes to stuff like that, it might be you that has changed. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
might be you that's going in a different direction. You might listen, honey, if when you go into the gas station and people holding the door open for you, where they doing stuff they may not have done before, or paying a lot of attention and giving you attention, whether if it's somebody you interested in or not. When you're open to the fact that you got choices, it changes the game.
It
It
does.
gives you power.
Mhm.
I mean, you
For
just
real.
walk differently. It's just different. And I seen two of my very close friends go through that transformation, and then it just changed. Where they may have been more relaxed and just like, oh, kind of like remember going to the, car lot when it's like, dang, I hope they can get me in something, to go in there and telling them specifically what you want. I mean,
Oh,
it's just different,
that is
you
so
know.
deep.
Yeah, and you know what? And I had one of my kids tell me one time, that was so selfish of you to go and buy that car. But you know what? I thought about it and I said, I make no apologies for when I bought that car. Cause she was like, it was a two-seater and all that stuff. But you know what? That was the first time in my life where I walked in the car lot and I picked out the car that I wanted, not one that they put me in,
Right.
way, way in back of the car lot. Okay. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but there's nothing worse than signing your name on a dotted line to something you really don't even fucking like that.
Woo!
Right. Right.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And how do you feel when people are calling you about a car payment for a car that you don't even really fucking like that? What if they calling you about a car payment and the car ain't even working at that time?
Oh my
What if
God.
they calling you about the car payment and you like, shit, I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna pay the car payment or the insurance, and stuff like that. Like that's real kind of life situations. So when you go from there to getting in a position to going and getting what you want
It changes the
and
game.
actually signing your name on the dotted line for something that you want,
Mhm.
it's a
Thank you.
different kind of experience.
It is. Even like I said, like with my transformation, then I got my high school diploma. Like I just keep pouring into myself. Like right now I'm taking notary class. I'm an officiant. I'm a life coach.
See?
And it's even things that I'm not even utilizing right now, but I'm doing it because I can do it because it feels good. And like you said, I'm getting my shit together and I can do it now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Period. Period. For real. That's real talk, y'all. So, you know, I don't know. People be like, you change. Y'all, change is not, I don't know why people feel like change is bad.
because they
Why
can't
is
see it in
change bad?
because they can't see it in themselves. Right? Some people,
Yeah.
you know what? In order to change, you gotta. And I love what my daughter said. And we were all on. We usually do a FaceTime something together, me and all my kids. So we were on FaceTime, and my daughter said it was something about my vehicle not running or whatever, but I needed to get over there. Over there, and so she was like, "Chances make champions." But it was real. Like we laughed, you know what I'm saying? But when I sat down and I thought about it, I'm like, I'm making a shirt. Compliments Danye, Bryant, my daughter, right? But that's real. Like we were laughing or whatever, but I stopped laughing. I was like, no, but she's right. It was the chances that I took on myself that is turning me into the champion that God is creating me into. Facts. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I feel about it. And so it's like, but I got to piggyback off what you said because it just made me know that what I did was profound to me. Because I had, and I'm not going to say the car dealership because, you know, shout out to them. They're trying to do their job. But they called me and he just wanted to confirm whether or not I was still trying to get a car. And I was just real. I said, listen, I'm straight out of a divorce. You know, I'm trying to rebuild my credit. I said, and to be quite honest with you, I said, I don't want to come and just get a car. I said that I'm upside down in. That's a 2016 or 2015. No shade to anybody. 2010, something like that, that I'm paying $400 for that I don't even have insurance for yet. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to scratch and survive to pay a car that's not even worth it because it's been depreciated. You know what I'm saying? Years ago when it was that year, right? You know what he said to me? He said, I totally understand and respect me. Call me when you're ready. Right? Because at the end of the day, the old me would have just been ready to, I need something, right? That desperate, I gotta survive type. No, the universe has been giving me everything that I need. God's source universe has been giving me everything, whether it be through people, whether it be through, you know what I'm saying, finances, whether it be through new business partner, whatever that is, like just believing that I'm able to do it and not sitting there listening to what other people, their limiting beliefs, right? Of telling me what I can't do, what I can't accomplish, how I shouldn't do this, how I shouldn't go after my dream. They're limitless, you know, they're being, I can't get the word I'm trying to say, but them not being able to be limitless with their thinking. Let me just say that. You know what I'm saying? And now that's when you've changed. You know, no, I realized that even with my credit score the way it was, and I told him, I said, my credit score is this. I said, I already know what I'm walking off that lot with. You know, and so I'm not willing to do that to myself because remember, I said I love myself, not just in relationships, but I love myself enough to respect money. I love myself to know how to decide to invest. I love myself when it comes to making big purchases. And I love myself enough to know that I don't have to settle in any area, right? Because isn't that what loving yourself is all about? People think we're just talking about in relationships. No.
Mm-hmm.
Love
It's
yourself
more
in
than that.
facets.
It's more than that.
You know, I think people miss that. And I just wanted to bring that up because it's bigger than, oh no, because I just, you know what I'm saying? I love myself. I love myself in all facets. No, you don't get to treat me any kind of way because I've
Yeah.
already experienced that. And I know that doesn't feel good. And I know what it feels like to be shit all over and pissed all over and dog walked and not be appreciated and respected. So now in this healed season of my life, why would I let you do that to me? It
Mm-hmm.
makes no sense. Only an unhealed person would be willing to do that. And that's why I love this platform, y'all, because people need
Mm-hmm.
to hear this. You don't got to settle, right? And we're not telling anybody what to do. We're just talking about our experiences, what we've learned, our growth, our healing. We've been through the hurt, the pain, the narcissistic behavior, the condescending treatment. But we survived it because one, we weren't willing to give up. Two, we kept on fighting, we kept pushing. And then once we start loving ourselves, look at who we start drawing into our environments, into our circles. Look at the
Absolutely.
people that you were dealing with unhealed versus who you're dealing with now.
I'm
Speak on
on
that
the
a little bit.
phone with Miss Katina Washington.
Come
I
on,
mean,
let's talk
like for
about it.
real. Let's talk about that. Let's wake that up. Like seriously. I
Wake that.
mean, I remember when Katina, you started back at the Douglas Center down here, and Shauna and stuff was helping you, because I used to work with Shauna
Yeah.
at the daycare, you know.
Oh, did
And
you
then
really?
yeah, so it's
I did
like
not know that.
yeah, so it's like, and to see you grow, and then now I'm on having a conversation with you. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy to me. So it's an
Oh,
honor. It's an
yeah.
honor.
Well, Shauna, do you know that Shauna volunteered for 7 years for me?
Really? I didn't
She
know that.
did. She did. She volunteered for 7 years for me. And she's been now with the She event for 3 years now. She works every weekend. She was there today.
Okay.
And I'm just so thankful that, like, girl, like Shauna and Lord, I could talk about her all day. But yeah, that's a beautiful thing. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, good people. And that's why I really,
We
that's
good
why,
people.
and that's Nisha. She's my people, man. And I love women that are not closed minded or just people, but definitely women. I'm talking about women right now because the fact that we can now sit on this platform together and
Yes,
that just in and of itself is powerful because it's a sisterhood, and we all have something
absolutely.
to say. And that's what Verbal Mirrors is all about, reflecting understanding, like reflecting understanding. I may not come from the same background as you. I may be culturally different, socially different, economically different, but I still have a voice. I still have something to say. I still have something that we have in common, even if it's that we're both just human beings, right?
Right.
Even if that's it, we still deserve that same respect and dignity that we should give one another. And that's the whole thing. But to sit on a platform with some queens that are winning, I heard what you said, all the things, all the accolades, the going back to decide, what, so what if I'm 42? I bet you what? I won't look at my kid talking about go get your high school diploma and I don't have mines,
Yeah.
right? Because words
That
don't
was my thing. That was my thing, Katina. Like, I was so big on education. I was a preschool teacher for 17 years. And then when
Oh
my
wow.
kids, it was like, it was no gray area. I was like, if they calling me and I'm at my job and they calling me about you, either they taking you to the hospital because something done happened, or you the best student in the class that day. But ain't
Mm.
no in between, Like my kids, teaching them. My 7-year-old, he turned 7 today. Today's his birthday.
Oh,
He knows how to say hello in 7 different languages. This is what
oh,
I'm teaching my preschool kids, though. You know what I mean? Their states, alphabetical order, Bible,
girl, I
the
don't.
scriptures and stuff like
I
that.
tried to name all the states and couldn't even do it.
Uh-uh.
Mm.
Yep. And I'm telling you, like 3 and 4-year-olds, they can do this. I mean, they like little sponges. So that's my thing. Like I just was so big on education from a young age. And I said, man, how hypocritical is that? I don't even have this high school diploma. And I just did it. And I always used to be like, oh, I wish I graduated in '97. That's when I was supposed to graduate high school at Tech. And then I said, you know what? It was divine timing. I did it right there because my kids, they would have never seen me do it. So, I mean, it worked out how it was supposed to.
Yeah, everything, y'all. That's the answer to all our problems.
Yep.
divine timing.
What you just said is the answer to all our problems. Like everything absolutely works out the way that it's supposed to.
Yep. Yep.
And you don't
Everything.
see it. when you don't see it, but it's like, because it's either to help elevate you or to teach you something. Either way, even if it hurts, and that's what I had to learn. But I've also learned, though, you got to choose your hard, because life could be hard without money, and life can be hard with money. But I think I'm going to choose the life that's hard with the money. You understand what I'm saying? You choose your heart. Like, because life, you're going to go through something where you elevate or whatever, but it's all going to be okay. If you can believe it and you can conceive it, you can achieve it. And that's what people need to understand, and not letting anybody, whether it be, family, friends, whomever, to detour you from that. You know what I'm saying? You got to start realizing where you are and recognizing and lead by example. That's the point I'm trying to make. You looked at yourself and you said, you know what, how dare I look at my children and say, get your high school diploma, like I said, and not have it. Because then that would be hypocritical, because now I can turn around and look at you. How dare you judge me? You didn't get yours. Exactly. Why didn't you get yours? Because once again, words, I could talk to you all day. What am I showing you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Words don't teach, action does. And you showed them, not only am I preaching this to you, but I'm teaching you that I'm going to be a living example of my word, because words are powerful now. But what you think about yourself, and so the fact that you made that executive choice, let me give you this Rain, because I don't want this kind of love. This ain't my forever love, right? I love myself, but I want you to see, when you broke from that narcissistic environment, how you just started propelling. And that's the thing too, because I still, like I said, I want to keep, referring back to it, because that's what the topic was about. That's when a narcissist gets scared, because you're growing and you're elevating, and you're not the same person that you used to be. So now you really love yourself. Now you really care about yourself. Now you're making some decisions that you wouldn't have made before you loved yourself. Now those boundaries are coming in now. Oh, I can't do this. No.
This was the kicker for me, that I'm over 40 with younger kids, because my two younger kids are 11 and 7. Honey, like Katina said, I got choices, boo. Don't do that.
Okay, girl.
I got choices. What a grown man mindset. You know what I mean? Like, a grown man is not gonna care nothing about, you know what I mean? None of that. Superficial stuff.
None of that, because it's what's on the inside, and that's the thing. I love what you said, superficial. Because people think because you look good, that's enough. It's not.
Right.
Because you know what? I had a nigga take pretty and dog walk me. Literally. You understand? So pretty is as pretty does. You got to be pretty on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Because pretty fades too. We're going to get old. We're going to get wrinkled. We're going to get bent over. Well, not bent over, because I ain't claiming that for us. We're going to get older, and our skin going to crack a little bit, because But I'm just saying, the reality is, as a man thinketh, what do you think you are? Because what you think you are, that's how people gonna treat you. If you think you trash, people gonna treat you like it. If you think, but you started loving yourself, you started outgrowing that narcissistic environment. You started seeing your worth. You started seeing you was giving too much, right? You started seeing that
giving too much and not enough to myself, though.
Right. And so it makes you evaluate and say, hold up, I love you, but why am I loving you more than I love me? Why am I doing that? I got you in the newest Jordans, but I ain't even bought myself a new pair of panties, Nick. What? But we do it, right? We do that, seriously. And some of us do it because of the facade. We don't want people to know that this ninja is not doing anything for us. We don't want them to know that we footing all the bills by ourselves.
2 jobs when you're pregnant with y'all child. Okay, but anyway, go ahead.
I mean, but let's talk about it, because again, somebody's out here going through this, and somebody needs to hear they're not the only one. But not only that, they can get through it. That's what I want this platform for. It's not a woe, it's me, and let's bash this person and let's just bash that person. It's verbal mirrors reflecting understanding, where your voice resonates, where it matters, where we want to see things from different perspectives and not judge, right? Not be able to conform to those narcissistic behaviors that try to control us to be what they want us to be, but be who you want to be and who you are, and not conforming to that to appease and make other people happy that aren't even happy with themselves. That people asking you, do you realize a lot of narcissists are asking you to be to them what they are not to themselves?
That's deep and crazy at the same time.
Right? They are asking you to be everything to them that they are not willing, unwilling, don't have the capacity to be to themselves. Forget me. Forget you loving me unconditionally. Real talk. Do you love you unconditionally? You asking me to give you love you unwilling to give yourself.
Damn.
Real talk.
These are like first date questions. We need to fuck what your favorite color is. Do you love yourself?
No, that you know what? That's a whole conversation in itself. First date questions.
Seriously.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
totally agree.
This is real, and this is the thing, but you don't know to ask these things. Think about what you said when you said, our grandmothers or our great grandmothers or whomever, our big mamas, whatever you call them, our nanas. Listen, he's a good man. He goes to work every day. This is embedded in your head. So now you got this man whooping your knot, but you got his whole check and you living in a mansion, but by, you know what I'm saying, any means necessary? Like, is that okay? Is it okay for you to not love yourself? All in the name of love, all in the name of, look at me. I'm miserable inside, but you see my house. You see my man. Yes, he gives me that check. You're miserable. You contemplating suicide, and this is not funny. This is real. You contemplating suicide because you don't know when the next slap or when the next hit is coming. But you're willing to sacrifice yourself, knowing you in this environment, all in the name of love when you don't love yourself. And we asking for this unconditional love from broken people. We asking for this unconditional love for people who do not love themselves. Hence the narcissistic behavior, because I see in you what I want. So if I can control that, then I control the narrative. And I don't have to change. I can live through you. Right? That's real talk.
Wow.
So it's just those things. I'm just saying, ladies, I appreciate y'all. We've been on here for over an hour, and I gotta have you back on. I want to thank you so much. But this is the stuff that needs to be heard. The raw and uncut stuff. It's cool to be very politically correct, but everybody ain't politically correct. People living in the trenches. People out here hurting. People are out here going through, and they need to understand that there's some people like them that have hurt, that are still going through, and that have overcome as well. And that we're not giving, saying, hey, listen, if you need any type of, psychological help or ways to get out, we are not giving you any advice, but we will tell you this: look for help, right?
Yeah.
Find help, find someone to talk to. Narcissistic behavior can lead to violence. It is a form of violence. It is a form of, whether that's mental, verbal abuse, not violence, but abuse, I meant to say. It is a form of it. Whatever capacity. And abuse can come from non-intimate relationships too, y'all. And they don't have to be physical. And so we just want this to be out here like, you're not alone. We are definitely all going through our own thing. We are definitely battling something, but we want you to know that just like us, you too can survive and thrive through it, and you don't have to stay in that situation, and you can choose you. So before we close out, is there anything that you want to leave our listeners with? Like, that's just some words of encouragement when it comes to dealing with narcissism, definitely, or anything else that we've discussed, because we talked about a lot of things, but I think they all go back to dealing with narcissism, because you have to love yourself and heal in order to recognize the environment of narcissism, the betrayal of it, and then be able to come out of it. So I just want each of you, just, whatever you want to leave the listeners with.
For me, I just want to say that anybody listening, you can find me on Facebook, Nisha Gee. If you ever need to talk, vent, you feel like committing suicide. I just had a Facebook friend that they say the funny people, is the one that's hurting the most, and he committed suicide or whatever, and it was just like a shocker to everybody. But I'm just saying, I'm just opening up that part. Just if anybody needs to talk, vent, or whatever, and like you said, I mean, it's not to diagnose. I mean, ain't nobody doing no counseling or, nothing like that, but just as a friend, as a genuine friend that's gonna stay between, me and that person or whatever. So Nisha G on Facebook. And I'm go put a little plug in for my business.
Do that.
I'm a master herbalist. So if anybody needs any herbal remedies for like different ailments, diabetes, insomnia, lupus, whatever, I can make it anything. Even some I didn't mention, I can do that too. So yes.
I love
And that's
it.
it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Miss Katina.
Yes, thank you so much, Nisha, for thinking of plugging our businesses, because anytime we have these opportunities, on these platforms for cross marketing, I'm here for it, okay?
Yeah.
But first, I just want to say that thank you so much for, allowing me to be on your platform. I consider it an honor and privilege. And I consider it an honor and privilege to be amongst other, Black women having intellectual discourse. Okay. So
Yeah.
that is an honor. And y'all, I'm just in a really, really good space right now. Like, there are some things that are jacked up, in my life, but overall, I can say I am the happiest I've ever been in my life. So, when it comes to my mental and stuff like that, yeah, because once our mental is together, it's like, I mean, and it doesn't matter what's going on when your mental ain't together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just in a very, very thankful space right now, just really practicing principles of contentment. But I can be found on Facebook, Katina Washington, 581 is my Facebook. I can be found if you Google me on all my platforms, like my website, the She Event, which is my nonprofit organization, and also my address will come up 838 North Delaware. You can Google me and find me on there. And also my phone number to reach me is through Google. Again, that's Katina Washington. And I am also on LinkedIn and all of those social media platforms as well. So thank you. If you are in the DC area, please meet me in DC for my masterclass happening on the first weekend of April.
I love it. I am so proud of you, Queens. And I'm telling you, listen, you want to connect with both of them. They are some dope individuals. Both of them are my cousins. So, yes, I am biased, but I'm telling the truth, too, because we only speaking truths on here. We don't have time for no fake
Okay.
stuff. I love, the energy, master herbalist, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, she event. She experiences so many things. She helps the community, helps entrepreneurs, education with business, learning how to construct your business. Listen, I've taken her classes, still taking them. It don't matter about family. I'm going to support everything she does. But wait, she's making me a better person. Nisha, I had high blood pressure, and I didn't even know what was going on. She made me some tea, real talk.
Oh,
She made me some little oil put on. I was testing it because I'm not one of them. I got to see if it's gonna work. My blood pressure went down every time. So I'm just telling you, we are not doctors, physicians. If you got high blood pressure, any type of illnesses or anything, we are not on here to diagnose anything. Seek counsel, seek your doctor, physicians, whomever. That's not what we're saying. We just know that holistic things works. And because it works for me, I am a living testament of that. And so that's all I'm trying to do of both of their businesses and their company, just knowing that they're true, genuine people that are out here just helping. So I love that you guys have come on here and chopped it up with me. I want to
thank you for letting them know what I do too. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. I had to because I am a product of your product, and so that's what I believe in. That's iron sharpens iron, right? Iron sharpens iron, and I'm sitting here doing some amazing things because of your platform.
Sometimes we have blonde moments, too.
The blind, but at the end of the day, like, this is what I wanted. Like, my vision for this platform is amazing because I need people just like this, real, want to come on and share their experiences, not being biased, having a conversation, not trying to be right, not trying to see who could piss the furthest, but just really having real dialect, real conversations, queendomhood, right? So I want to thank you guys for staying, hopping on with me late at night. This was impromptu. People don't know this. Like I said, whoever came on late or whatever, we just decided, boom, we were going to do this. And it turned out beautiful. And I thank you for your time, your energy, allowing me in your space. We talk about that all the time. And I want to give gratitude because I know that you guys could be doing anything else. Time is very valuable and precious. And so to spend it with me, chopping it up, about our topic, dealing with narcissism and things like that, being in that type of relationship. But then your transparency, I want to thank you for that. So don't get off yet. But I want to thank my listeners and everybody, for listening to Verbal Mirrors, Reflecting Understanding. Again, we had Miss Tanisha Green on and we had Miss Katina Washington on. And we're just chopping it up. This is my family, but this is the type of conversations that we want to have, real conversations, real dialect, where we can be able to hear other people's opinions, other people's experiences, and walk away with a mutual understanding. So I want to go ahead. We're going to close this out with some music. You know how we do. As we wrap up another episode of Verbal Mirrors Reflecting Understanding, we encourage you to carry the reflection sparked here into your daily interactions. Let the echoes of diverse perspective guide your journey towards greater empathy and connection. Thank you for being a part of our dialogue. Until next time, may your mirrors of understanding continue to reflect a world filled with compassion and unity.